Hi, welcome back to Parenting Insight, where we talk matters parenting. So today we're going to talk about why it's important not to discipline our children while we're angry. Think about a situation where a stray dog is running towards you. What would be your default reaction? Is to run for your life, right? Okay, so whenever we feel that we're exposed to danger, our body naturally reacts by either fighting or flighting. This is not something that you think through. This is not something that you take 10 minutes to think about whether to freeze or to run. This is something that all sort of happens naturally. Now, whenever we are scared, there is a hormone or stressed. There's a hormone that is produced by our bodies that is called cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and the stress hormone is supposed to tune our bodies into fight or flight mode. Now, when we look at the world from the point of view of a child, we are bigger people and we can be intimidating for the little child. So when we are angry and our faces are, filled with anger and our voices are loud and unloving and, we are shouting at our children and probably looking down on them, it's a very scary moment for the child. So when we are angry, what we feel for us, what may be bearable for us in terms of how we view ourselves is not the same way that a child experiences us. Remember, we are older. We are already much more intimidating physically. We are intimidating intellectually. And if we were to really bring out the worst of ourselves in front of our kids, it's a scary experience for them. So for the child who has to observe the mom or dad shouting, raising their voice at them, or having this angry look on their faces, it's a very scary moment. And what happens is that naturally the child feels unsafe, and when they feel unsafe, their bodies produce cortisol, which is a flee or fight hormone. It's a stress hormone that allows our bodies to either flee or to fight. So you'd have moments where maybe like you're shouting at a child and you see a child just literally runs out of their room. That's a moment when their bodies are tuned to the flight moment. Their bodies attune them to running away from whatever is perceived as danger, in this case, which would be apparent. And there are times when the child is so scared of the scary you that they perceive at that moment that they literally freeze. So it doesn't matter how much response you want from the child. They just stare at you, totally shaken and totally unable to respond to whatever you're saying or to grasp. Now, here is the thing. Here is the catch. The whole essence of disciplining a child is to train a child. Is not to intimidate a child or to make a child acquire fear over us so that they don't do something because they're terrified of their mom or dad. The whole essence of disciplining is a child is able to separate you as a person, their behavior, and them as a person. They're able to separate three things. So that disciplining is not about how terrified they are of you and how scared they are of you. It's good for a child to know that, mom or dad does not tolerate this, but not because you don't tolerate it, but because they know that you do not tolerate the kind of behavior. It should not be just pegged on fear or a parent's fury. The child should not be, be able to attach discipline to the fear factor, the fear of mom or dad. Secondly, they should not be attaching discipline to their worth, their value. So whenever we are disciplining children, and that is why it's important to discipline children in a way that communicates love and that separates the child from the behavior, so that the child understands that it's not that I do not love you anymore. I love you whether you do right or wrong. My love for you does not change. But this is behavior that is not acceptable, or this is behavior that is acceptable for us, and so forth. So the child should be able to separate you, should be able to separate themselves, and should be able to separate the behavior. They should be able to identify that the whole essence of discipline is the behavior, which is not possible when they're looking at our scary, angry faces and listening to our loud, intimidating voices. So here's the thing. When we're disciplining children and we want them to take the lesson in, even you, when you're running away from that dog that you think poses a danger to you, that's not the time when you start discussing business meetings with the next person. Your mind is totally focused on saving your life. So when you're angry at a child, they cannot hear what you're saying because their minds are focused on preserving themselves from the danger that you pose, which is you. At that particular point, you're the danger. So that is not the time to expect a child to take in the lesson and to understand the magnitude of what they have done. When you're too angry, they're focusing on you and trying to figure out how to preserve themselves from the danger that you pose. So like I said, and like I mentioned earlier, it's important to be able to identify when we are enraged and when we feel like we are losing our calm or out of control, and actually take a few minutes. Trust me, it doesn't hurt to just take a few minutes, go and do your counting or find your calm in whatever way works for you. But really, if the disciplining is to make sense and to have positive impact on the child, it cannot be done when we are enraged, when we are angry, because that also teaches the child to fear you. You become a threat. They know every time they do something wrong, you turn into this scary person. So now it's no longer about them thinking about the behavior that has caused them to be disciplined. It's about who you turn out to be when they do something wrong. Now that it becomes an issue of fear, the fear factor, instilling fear and dreading having to make any mistake because you become such a terrifying person. That's not what we're looking at when we are looking to discipline our children. So the next time that we feel that we need to discipline our children, always remember it is never positive when we are angry. It's never positive when you're angry. It doesn't matter what kind of a disciplining approach you're doing, because when the child starts focusing on your anger, then you lose the point of the learning moment. You lose the opportunity for the child to be calm enough to be able to hear what you're telling them about what they've done wrong, why it's wrong, and what the consequence is. We all cannot think straight when we are under freezing, when we are under flight or fight. You don't think calmly when you're fighting. You don't think calmly when you're so scared that you're frozen. We think calmly when we're in a state where we are able to feel like we're safe. So yeah, that's basically the essence of this video, to just share about why it's important to ensure that we keep our composure, that we take time to be calm, and that we take time to think through how we want to communicate the message to the child. Remember, before you discipline, like I posted in one of my Facebook posts, is the child has to understand what they have done wrong, why they have done wrong, and the consequence for doing the wrong. And this cannot be something new that they have never been taught or have never experienced before, have never done before. Really, it's only fair for us to discipline for something that we've already taught the child and something that we have checked and that they have internalized and they understand. So even before disciplining, it helps actually to just ask the child, do you understand why I'm about to discipline you? Do you understand what you did wrong? And don't help the child to explain. Listen to the explanation. Because if the explanation is, yes, because it made mom or dad angry, then it means they have not understood the behavior that is not acceptable. They need to be able to identify the behavior that is not good and be able to understand why it's not good. So you need to find out do you understand what you have done wrong, and let the child answer. You need to ask the child, do you understand why it is wrong, and have the child answer, and you'll be able to assess then whether they understand why it's wrong. Then that, because you're calm in this space, then you're able to explain to the child, no, it's not, I'm not disciplining you because you have made mom or dad angry. That's not the why it is wrong. It is wrong because it is disrespectful to other people when you hit them and so forth. So you need to be able to be calm enough to actually correct the child's misperceptions if you realize before you discipline them that they have a skewed perception of why you're disciplining them. And then again, because remember, discipline is something that you should have put structures in place, and the child should be able to know that if I do this, this is a consequence. Then also it might help to ask a child, do you remember what the consequence of the discipline measure for hitting another child is? And they should be able to say it. Then you say, okay, so I'm going to do it. And and then you're able to do it so that they don't, at that moment, they're not feeling disliked by you. They don't think it's about your stresses from external sources, and they're not attaching your disciplining them to your disliking them. They need to actually feel love. In fact, they should be able to look at your face and actually see that you're not enraged and angry, and you're not a threat. You're not a threat to them. Yeah. I mean, there are times when it can even help to tell the child, you look at my face, you see I'm not shouting, listen to my tone, I'm not shouting at you. Look at my face, I'm not angry at you, I am just displeased with your behavior, and for that I am going to ABCD. So I hope this has been a helpful video. Remember, this is an interactive forum. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Parenting Insight. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, Parenting Insight, as well. And please feel free to share your comments, your opinions, your feedback. So see you on the next one.